Hey you guys, welcome back to Libro Review. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to wrap up the month of September, the books that I received this month, and I've received book mail after so long. The books that I read in the month of September and the October TBR. TBR means to be read, so October TBR means the books that I will read in October. Without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so we're gonna start with the book haul because I have received mail after so long and I am so excited. The first book that I received this month was Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Now this is the book that I got for myself. I got it on my own because it is so hyped and so talked about, and I also read it as soon as I got it because I know for a fact that you guys do need a review of this book. I got a lot of messages from you guys asking whether this is a book worth buying or not, so I got this. Next we have Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Now this is not the book that I got myself. My brother actually got it, but I had read Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn and I was like super excited to read another book by her. Honestly, oh my god, I will talk about how it was later on. The next book I received from the author of the book is The Shoebox Effect by Marcy J. Keithley. Next book again I received is The Stranger by Albert Camus. Again, I did not get it, my brother got it. And I was like super duper excited because I already had The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus and I was super excited to see what other books Albert Camus has, and my brother got this because he came to know that this is one of the most absurd books out there. Next book I received from the publishers, which is HarperCollins, is Kintsugi, which is a novel by Ankruti Upadhyay. Again, got this as a review copy, but oh my god. Alright, now talking about the books that I have read. Now all the books that I received, I was just so excited to receive them that I did not even take time to just like let them be on my shelf and then read it whenever I get time and stuff like that. I got it and that day itself I would open it and I would start reading it. The first book I read is Kintsugi. It's not the first book I read, but I read Kintsugi. Now this is the story of I think three women and one man who are facing like their own issues in their own lives. So one of the women is trying to make it big in the jewelry industry where you make jewelry and you learn the craftsmanship and everything like that. The second girl is trying to find a man that she really loves and she's trying to find solace in that. The third girl has recently discovered her talent as a craftsman in the field of jewelry itself, but she's facing issues because girls are not supposed to be into the jewelry industry, and somehow all of these people are interconnected with each other in very different ways. So this is basically their stories. The book is divided again and again and there are a lot of narrations from each character, and it's a beautiful book because you will see how their stories break at a point and then get joined at a point very differently, so beautifully. I love the writing style and it is very easy to read, so you can pick it up. Kintsugi actually is a Japanese concept, which means in this concept what the Japanese do is they take a bowl if it is broken and they mend it with gold, and that is to show how broken things can be even more beautiful than before. Next we have The Stranger by Albert Camus, and just as I said, this is one of the most absurd books that I have ever read in my whole life. So this book is about a common man who is leading his common life till one day when he just like randomly gets involved in a murder. And now this is in part 2, it is the story of his trial and how he goes through it, and it is from the perspective of that man itself. And on one hand I'm like, dude, what? This book is so ordinary. You're literally reading the life of a common man and nothing else. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh my god, I have never enjoyed the life of a common man so much. And the best or the worst, whatever you think when you read it, part is that the character, the protagonist, is so effed up. Oh my god, he doesn't feel stuff at all. Everything is just happening in front of him and he's just like about everything. And Oh my god, and then the ending really blew my mind. So if you're looking for something which is like super ordinary but at the same time like super captivating, then this is a great book. It is not exactly for beginners, but if you do want to start with Albert Camus, I think this is a great book. Next we have The Shoebox Effect by Marcy J. Keithley. Now this is the story of the author herself. It is a memoir, and it is the story of how she opens her own shoebox one day because of some incidents that happens with her, and that shoebox had all the memories of pain in it, and she was trying to avoid them for the longest times. She was trying to avoid the trauma from her past for the longest time, but she actually did open the shoebox. She revisited those traumatic events, and then she grew out of them, and she evolved out of them, and she gained freedom from all that trauma and all those painful emotions. And this is the journey of how she did it. Now the shoebox effect means that you have a shoebox, either like a physical shoebox in your house, where you have, like, you know, the memories stored. They can be happy or sad memories. I know I do have a shoebox. It's not a shoebox, it's actually like a bag which has like memories from my childhood and like all special moments of my life and stuff like that. So you either have it in your house or you have it like in your mind. So there are certain memories that you have that you don't want to visit, that you don't want to remember because you're scared that they're so painful and you don't want to go through that pain again. So you really avoid it and you focus on some other stuff. But then if you read this book and you see the journey of the author, oh my god, it is so heartbreaking. This book is really heartbreaking and like really emotional, and oh my god, like I cried so much during the entire book because of how hurtful it is. But at the same time, if she could get through that, then I'm pretty sure that we also can get through a lot of things. And this book actually gives us the motivation and the power to do so. And at the end of each chapter, this book also has like points to remember and exercises that makes the book very practical. Honestly, the physical copy is pretty expensive, and I got it from the author, so I don't expect you to get the physical copy if you don't have the money. But the ebook is pretty cheap, much cheaper than the physical copy. So whatever it is, if you can get the physical copy, good for you. But even if you can't get that, get the ebook. It is a must read if you're trying to get over the pain of your past. Next book is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and I have mentioned this book in my previous stories. Oh my god, this book is gruesome. It is sinister. It is the darkest book I have ever read in my whole life. And I'm saying this as a person who enjoys dark fiction so much. And it actually pushed me to read another book by Gillian Flynn. And I was like, oh my god, even that blew my mind. This is so dark. It is so dark. It is the story of Camille Preaker, who is a journalist, and she has to go to this town to investigate the, missing, what do you call it? The disappearance of two small girls. Now she is doing that, but along with that she also has to visit her home, because the town that she goes in is also her hometown. And somehow her past of her family and of her life, which is like super duper dark, very dark, is in relation with her present of investigating the disappearance of these girls. So like the puzzle fits together and we come to know what actually happened towards the end. The end blew my mind again, and secondly, the whole book is so dark. I think it is even darker than Gone Girl, because Gone Girl is dark but it involves all these adults, and okay fine, we can expect darkness from adults, but this book has like children in it. Yes, trigger warning, it has child abuse and self-harm in it, so don't read it if you get triggered by that. But apart from that, it is brutal, but this is literally the most darkest, best book I have ever read. It was so good. The next book is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Again, I read it as soon as I received it, and this I can say is one of the greatest self-help books that I have read. Of course, I've read a lot of self-help books, so because of that there was like a lot of content that was repeated in this book for me. But for a beginner, I think it is a great book. Also because Jay Shetty has gone through a lot of things himself. He has been a monk himself. He has seen the journey of being a normal guy to being a monk, to leaving that, and now making wisdom viral. He has done it all himself. So because of that, this book becomes really interesting, because he shares his own journey throughout the book, which makes us be very related, or like, it makes it very relatable for us. But on the other hand, I feel like if you have read multiple self-help books before, then you won't get too much of value from it. Or if you watch a lot of Jay Shetty videos, even then you won't, like, if you follow his podcast and his videos and everything, then also there's not like something extremely new in this book. It's all like all his videos and all his podcasts and all his thoughts have been put together, structurized in one book. So if you want to get a self-help, and if you're a beginner and you've never read a self-help book before, then you must buy it, because it is so good that way. But if you have read a lot of self-help books before, then there'll be a lot of repetition. The next beautiful book I read is Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Oh my god, I will actually cry right now talking about this book. Okay, oh my god, this book, I was putting it off for the longest time because it was so hyped, and I was like, why are people like so crazy about this book? I mean, Tuesdays with Morrie, like, I don't even understand what it is. But then a few days back, two things happened. One is one of my bookish friends on Instagram, which is Khyati, is like mad about this book. So I just keep seeing her talking about this book all the time, and she loves it. And secondly, I actually got a dream that somebody is giving me this book to read, and I really take my dreams very seriously. As in, if I'm getting a dream about something, I feel like it is a sign for me to do something. So as soon as I got the dream, I got this book. This is not my book, I borrowed it from an auntie in the building. We share books with each other, and so I got it, and I literally finished it in like 2 or 3 hours, because of how easy it is to read, and leave that, how beautiful it is. It's so nice. So basically, coming to the point, it is the story of an old man who is about to die, is meeting a young man who is busy with his life. Now the twist is that that young man was actually the student of this old man at a very many years back. So they get together. The old man spends Tuesdays with the young man, and they share lessons with each other about life. If you're a beginner, and if you're not a beginner, whatever it is, if you've not read this book, read it, please. It is beautiful. Now I feel like for some people it may be very boring, because of how, like, it has like a lot of like sick stuff in it, like, because the old man is about to die. So because of that, it has a lot of stuff like that. But if you are okay with that, and if you are okay with learning the greatest lessons of life from a man who is about to die, then this is your book. Next we have Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Again, I'm not going to explain a lot about how crazy good this book is. Gillian Flynn is my new favorite author, and I'm also going to get any other book available by her in the Flipkart sale as much as possible. I'm also going to get a physical copy of Gone Girl if possible from the Flipkart sale, because I am a big fan of Gillian Flynn now. This is the story of the Day family. So Libby Day is the only one that has survived after a massacre that happened like when she was very young, and her brother killed her entire family, but she survived out of it. Now after like a lot of years, there is a doubt that her brother may not be the killer. So it is kind of like a mystery thriller dark book. But the first line of the book, I read it and I was like, whoa, like I went crazy. So it is a great book. Again, super duper dark. Again, I'm giving you trigger warning for all this like darkness and everything, and make sure you're okay with it and only then read it. Last book I read is The Lines We Cross. You cannot see the name, The Lines We Cross, and I can never take the author's name. So Randa Abdel Fattah. I got it from the Flipkart sale, and oh my god, again I was putting it off for a very long time, but then I was like, oh, let me pick it. Also because another friend of mine, Fatima on Instagram, was going crazy about this book. So you see, I take recommendations from my friends, and I read it, and It is so beautiful. It is so cute. It is so beautiful. There was this one conversation between the two protagonists that made me cry so badly, and I think that only happened with me. It won't really happen with everybody else, but that conversation was so cute. Like, actually, you know what, let me just give you, like, let me tell you what the conversation was. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it won't be a spoiler, but yeah. Meena says, I miss you. Michael says, I miss you too. Meena says, are we worth all of this, the fight ahead? And Michael says, yes, Meena, absolutely. I know it sounds really simple, but when you know the entire story in this book, then you will cry your eyes out when you read it. So this is basically the story of Meena and Michael, two people who are very, very different from each other. They come from different backgrounds, and the worst part is that their backgrounds are against each other, which means that Meena is a refugee in Australia, and Australia is trying to not take more refugees because they think that those refugees are taking over their culture and all those kind of things. So it's a very cultural kind of like a fight between them, and Michael does not, like, Michael is always with his parents, so he has the same beliefs as his parents, but now that he has met Meena, things are changing. So it's a beautiful book. Yes, it is very easy to read, very, very easy to read, very beginner friendly. All right, now talking about the books that I want to read in the month of October are: one, we have Murakami's Dance, 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 because I'm in the mood for Murakami. Second, we have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Yes, Alcott, and I've already started reading this, and I'm reading it only because I saw Friends, and Joey is like literally going crazy over this book, and Rachel loves this book, and I was like, okay, fine, let me read it. It's also a classic. So next, I'm reading Lolita, hopefully in this month. And the reason I'm reading Lolita is because I've got a lot of comments and messages from you guys saying that can you make a video on how to read difficult books. Now, I have read my share of difficult books before, but I feel like this is one book that I think is difficult, so I want to go through the experience myself and then bring the video to you. So yeah, then I'm gonna read And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini, because this is the only book by Khaled Hosseini that I haven't read, and I am okay with it. I mean, I'm okay with crying and everything, and I'm pretty sure that he's gonna make me cry, but still. Next book is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Two reasons: one, it is there on my TBR for 2020, and 2020 is about to be over, so I gotta read it. And second, because again, I get a lot of comments from you guys and messages from you guys saying that can you make a video on how to read more classics or how to read classics, because like as a beginner and stuff like that. And honestly, I am not a lot into classics myself, so I've thought that I'll experiment this month and next month and just see how I go about it and then make a video for you guys. At the end, I want to read, oh no, this is not the end. This is the last fiction book that I want to read for this month, which is The Fault in Our Stars, because I have only rushed through it before, and a lot of people keep telling me that if you actually read the book, you'll come to know that it's beautiful. So I'm like, fine, just let me give it a try, because I really liked Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Because all of those books were fiction books. That is because I'm gonna read A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I'm actually gonna reread it, and I want my time with it. I'm gonna take one whole month to read this book properly, because I want to read it like that, because I read it the last time I read it, it has changed my life to like another level. The number of things that have improved for me is crazy. So I want to completely dive into it and read it properly so that I can change my life even more. So yes, you guys, this was it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and that is it. Please do share, like, subscribe, bell button, all those good things.